everyone, today we're gonna have the properties of rectangles, and we have here these two pictures we have here are rectangles. How do we know that it is a rectangle? So we have to go through these properties right here. First, opposite sides are congruent, so opposite means they're across from each other, and all the four angles are right angles. So these four corners that we have here have a small square on them. It's telling us that they're all right angles. It's 90 degrees, so all four corners. So that the total for all of the measures in every quadrilateral, which a rectangle is a quadrilateral, is 360 degrees. So opposite sides are congruent. So across from each other, they're congruent. So this side right here and this side are congruent. They're across from each other. And then this side across would also be congruent. So from here, we can therefore say that if this side is 4, this side would also be 4. And if this is 7, this side would also be 7. So then we can go ahead and fill this in. Our PS should be 7. And our SR is 4. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so it's pretty much similar to the ones that we did on the first part, but instead, this time around, we have expressions. So opposite sides are congruent, so these two are congruent, and then this other two right here would be congruent. So then we can go ahead and set up the equation to solve for x first. So let's solve for the x first. So these two sides are equal each other. So I can go ahead and say 10x minus 3 equals 2x plus 5. So then from here, we are going to subtract 2x from both sides, minus 2x. So then we are left with 8x minus 3 equals 5. So then from here, we're gonna add 3 from both sides plus 3 here. So then we are left with 8x is equal to 8. So then we divide 8 from both sides, divide 8, and we divide this by 8. So then our x is equal to 1. Okay, so our x is 1 right here. So then we, to determine the PQ and SR measures, we are going to plug this 1 into the x. So this would come out 10 times minus 3. Again, our x was 1. I put it in there. So 10 times 1 is 10 minus 3 is 7. So this side right here is 7. Now let's see what's the other side here. So that would be 2. Then we put in the x plus 5. The x was 1, so I put in here. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 5 is 7. So both sides are equal since they are congruent. So our PS, no, we have our PQ first. So QP would be 7. And then we have SR or RS is 7. Now let's find the PS and the QR or RQ. So we're going to solve for the Y. To solve for the Y, again, since they are congruent, we equal them to each other and solve for Y. So that would be 5Y minus 4 equals 3Y plus 2. So 3Y plus 2. Okay, good. So minus 3Y from both sides, minus 3Y. So we are left with 2y minus 4 equals 2. Then we add 4 from both sides, plus 4 and plus 4. So we get 2y is equal to 6. And then we divide both sides by 2. We divide this by 2. So then our y is 3. So that's the value for y, 3. So then we put this in here, 3. So we plug in the values to determine what is PS and QR. So that would be 3 times the Y value plus, that's plus 2. So 3 times 3 is, 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. So the length of this is 11. And then let's see the other side right here, QR. So that would be 5 times, we put in the value of Y, which is 3. And then, so this is 3 right here. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 take away 4 is 11. So this side right here, the PS is 11. and then, oops, so the PS is 11, and then the RQ is 11. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. Now let's move on to the second property. So this is the second property right here. So we have the two diagonals are congruent and bisect each other. Again, I would like to define the word bisect. Bisect means it was cut into two equal parts. So cut into two equal parts. So the two parts that have been cut is equal to each other. So that's what we mean by the word bisect. So if we look at this problem right here, two diagonals are congruent. So the two diagonals here are OT and DP. So OT and DP are equal each other and they have been cut in half. So if we say that in this problem right here that the DP was 20, so therefore this is 10 and this is 10, and that makes it 20, because again the diagonals are being bisected. Bisected means it was cut into two equal parts. So if the whole thing is 20, so that's 10 and 10. And since the two diagonals are congruent, OT is also 20. And so this side right here is also 10, and this is also 10. So we can fill this in. OT is 20. So that's OT is 20. OG is 10. And then DG is 10. PG is 10. Okay, so we have already determined all of these missing side lengths here. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we pretty much do the same thing as this, but instead, this time around, we're given expressions. So MB is negative 3x plus 7, and then the AG is negative 5x plus 5. These two diagonals, MB and AG, are congruent. That means they're equal each other. So I can go ahead and equal them to each other. So negative 5x plus 5 is equal to negative 3x plus 7. So then we are going to add 3x from both sides. So plus 3x and plus 3x. So we are left with 2x. So this is negative 2x plus 5 equals 7. So then we are going to subtract both sides by 5. Subtract this by 5. So then we are left with negative 2x equals 2. Then we divide both sides by negative 2. Divide this by negative 2. So the x is negative 1. So our x right here is negative 1. And so if we want to solve for the diagonal MB, we plug it in. So that would be negative 3 times, and then plus 7, negative 3, and then the x is negative 1. 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3 plus 7 is 10. So the value for MB is 10. Now let's find the value for AG. So that is negative 5 times negative 1 plus 5. So that is positive negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. Plus 5 is a positive 10. So our AG is a positive 10. So both diagonals, AG and MB, are 10. So we go ahead and say MB is 10, and then AG is 10. Now we find AK. AK is from this side this way. So that's if the whole thing is 10, that means this is 5 and 5. So then AK is 5, and then the MK would also be 5 and 5. Since this is equal to 10 and this is equal to 10, it was bisected 5, 5, 5, and 5. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!